Yes, it's the interview segment, and today we're looking at the Nigerian entertainment industry and the quest for stardom. That's artist stardom. So we have with us in the studio our entertainment guru, who is also heading the entertainment, department here, Clinton. You're welcome.
Yeah,
You're welcome, Clinton.
I'm feeling this is like my third or fourth time on Daybreak.
Yes. Anyway, without us.
Without you, that's true.
Anyway, so let's look at this now. The story about Rema, and people, I heard that before, and it is coming. I just saw on TikTok, was it early this morning or yesterday, and somebody, an American lady, and says, "Oh, that performance was demonic and all
satanic,
that, whatever,
yeah,
satanic." And I begin to talk about what artists do for stardom to just be up there. It's just like what I was just listening to now. And some people say they take drugs, heavy dose of drugs, cocaine, and the rest of them, just to be up there. We all knew what happened to Whitney Houston, and the daughter who eventually died too. It was all drugs. The husband, Bobby Brown, who they were estranged, also died down because of drugs. And in America, there's this thing about demonic, Jay-Z and the rest of them being demonic in whatever they do. At some points, Eminem decided to pull away from a lot of them. Even in Hollywood, you find out they don't like doing, if they're doing religious things, they just shoot it as a history movie. It is not a religious movie. It's just a history religious movie, but it does not teach anything that has to do with faith or belief. It's just a religious movie. So they eliminate the part of God serving and all that. So I do not understand where we're heading to at the moment with all these things. So probably you will have to explain to us better what exactly it is that is driving African artists, Nigerian artists, towards all this kind of thing, or are they just false accusations?
Okay. Whether you like it or not, I think I should start from the background when we talk about entertainment. We cannot dispute the fact that entertainment started from rituals.
Okay.
I studied theater and film, and one of the basic things you would always learn from the history of performances is rituals. It started from rituals. They will tell you performances as old as man. The early men, they did things, they took stones and threw at an animal and they killed the animal. When they came back home, how did you do it? They demonstrated. That's acting.
Oh.
That's performance. That's how it started. Then when we now start talking about written, when they started documenting it, far back from the Egyptian era to the Roman era to the Greece to the Roman, because it's, you understand, Greece before Roman, performance started with, for the Greece, it started from what they call the Dionysian festival. Is one of the Greek god, the god of wine and fertility, that is Dionysus. So whether you like it or not, you cannot take away performance from rituals. Even as at the time, when you do all this theater history and all this performance history and all this whole history, there was an era I went to the church. That's the Elizabethan era, the whole time we went to the church. The Catholic, Roman Catholic and all that. But what I'm trying to explain is you cannot take away performance from ritual. Now, it is left for you to make it fetish or not. When I was in school, 100 level, we do what they call induction. Induction is where we use our traditional style to, we call it initiation. But to us, we know it's all acting. Because we will do rehearsal for about 2 months. We rehearse to act like Babalawo, act like everything. So everything we doing it, we know is acting. But people outside, they're like, what are these people doing? God forbid. They used to avoid people that studied creative or theater arts in schools. Ask people, they will tell you those people are too fetish. We know we are acting because we rehearsed like 2 months for it, but people would not know. So I want to now bring it down to the aspect that you cannot say because you see everybody do everything on TV, then it's demonic or it has to be something. Some of them are acting.
Okay, now, sorry to cut you. Let's go down directly now to Rema. I know there have been some accusations to Rema that he has joined Illuminati, he's now satanic. I personally saw the performance. And when at the point some people took their phones and they were shouting, no, don't call me, don't drag me into Jesus. And they were all being like, it felt like he was chanting. He had a horse, he had people dancing around, there were the visuals of skeletons and stuff. Are you still going to refer to that as just arts?
I'm still going to hold on to the fact that it's acting, because you cannot also forget that if we go back to Rema's history, Rema started from the church. Rema was a gospel artist.
And someone even asked him that he should go back to Christ Embassy.
You can't do it like that. Christ Embassy did not save him when his dad passed and he needed to feed his mom at just 13 years old. Where was Christ Embassy?
But we don't know the details of that story.
That's the truth. I know his history. He had to leave Nigeria to Ghana to hustle for a while, came back, and he was doing freestyles online. Then the Prince saw him and introduced him to Nwadozie. And that was how, after he trained for about a while, he started releasing songs. But one thing you need to understand this, and that's one thing I like about Nwadozie. Nwadozie don't just sign artists and he tell them, come and record. He trains you on even how to talk to the public, even on how to present yourself, even on how to perform, how to record, how to understand your sound, how to style yourself. So all those things, you cannot take them out. For me, being an entertainer to that understand, I'll call it all acting. Because right now, we are doing what he wants us to do.
But you see,
That's the truth.
actually, we are reacting, and a lot of people
That's
are
the reaction
following
they
him
want.
more. Now, the thing there is that, you know, you talked about acting, and I want my mind just went to Ovunda. About Ovunda, I attended one of his, you know, theater acts. Well, my parents took me to National Theatre to watch, when he was alive, to watch his, you know, show, you know, his drama act. And I watched that drama with his wives acting one witchcraft, this thing, and he beat drums and everything. And the stories behind all these things is that he said, it was said to be like, you know, he had wives, some of them who were original witches. And you know, and then he had to bring out some things live to stage and then do some things, and were able to. And if you look at our movies, it portrays a lot of witchcrafts, rituals, and a whole lot of these things. So I know some of those things were imagined, are just acting.
You see the problem, you're calling witchcraft, but you're forgetting that those things are our history.
They are history.
Who made us believe our history and our religion and our beliefs, our ancestors passed to us, are barbaric? Somebody put that thing in our head.
The level you are taking it now, you have explained as an artist, somebody who actually went through school and knows that this is what actually is. But a lot of us who did not pass through that level,
you would not know.
If I was there, I would be shouting for deliverance.
You understand? It is just there. And okay, would you say the accusations Eminem and a lot of them labeled on people like Jay-Z, the wife, and a whole lot of this and that, okay, Jay-Z and the rest of them were just acting and everything, and they just tell you how an artist can actually be pulled down.
Okay, let me explain. I would not totally eliminate the fact of fetishness in the music industry, in the entertainment industry, not just music, movie, comedy, music industry, all of them. There are actually people that do fetish things. Just yesterday, I made a post talking about, we just lost one of our celebrities, that's Oladips.
Yeah.
He just died. And I made a post about it on my TikTok, as I always do, on trending issues. And someone now came into my DM and was telling me a story, how he came to Lagos. He's an upcoming artist. He's in my DM now on TikTok. And he came to Lagos to look for a record label. And the deals he was seeing, so many fetish things that he was going to sign, he left it and went back to Port Harcourt and decided, okay, let me do something here, I can make it on my own. So I will not totally eliminate the fact of this whole barbaric or demonic or occultism in this whole thing. It actually happens. But we cannot tie it to everybody. That's what I'm trying to say.
So in your defense now,
some people are doing, because actually the funny part is some of the people that are even doing these things are not showing you. I know some people that are actually the real doers of this thing, but they don't put it in their song. I know gospel artists.
I know
That's the thing. Those ones are the real guys who hide it.
Yes, actually.
okay, now you just mentioned this issue of record label. I would like us to go down that lane too, because I would like us to understand what really happens, like the deals that people take with record labels. Some people come in and they come out and say things like, I was asked to maybe be initiated into something, to sign a devilish deal I can. Okay, now, so why do we get to that aspect? Some people say music is a spirit. Just like you will say, for example, you want to come and learn something for somebody, and then the person wants to initiate you into something. Why do we get down to that level where we will have to get satanic or barbaric or into something fetish for us to do just music?
Now, this thing doesn't just happen in the music industry. It happens even in politics, in business. There are people, at least most of us will know stories when we are growing up. They will tell you, before you join this, you need to come and join this one, so we can back you. Just like this, and I used to tell people, used to think when you join cult and this whole money ritual is not really a thing the way we think it is. Most people that you see that join some cults, some really, really bad cults that they join, they don't join to make money. Like when I was growing up, I had one man, I'm not going to mention names. He was, I think the boy's dad was accusing him of putting his own dad into that thing. And he was like, yes, I brought your dad into this thing, but I did not tell him to kill people for money. Did I kill anybody for money? So that's one thing. You might join something, doesn't mean you would have to do something. When you want to do blood, anything blood, it is your choice. That doesn't mean, but some people, they'll tell you, before you can be with me to know what I'm doing, you have to join, so you cannot speak of what we do here outside. But is it there? It is actually there. It happens. It's left for you as the upcoming artist. Just because you want to get famous, don't just sign any deal you see, and tomorrow you start crying. Just be a little bit more patient, because you will sign a deal that you can't get out of. Some deals are like trap.
Now that's where it comes down to the part of them being desperate. The person you gave an example now, you said he had to go back to Port Harcourt. It was a choice. There are some people that are really desperate and feel like, oh, I have to, like when we're talking about Mohbad now, saying that when he got into the Malians group and all of that, maybe at that point he was desperate to get into it. So now, should people be trained to the extent that they take advantage of these young people because they see that they are desperate or vulnerable?
It is obviously not a good thing, but whether you like it or not, there are good people and there are bad people. So and it will always be so on earth.
How do you begin to differentiate them? Because we've been hearing stories and stories and stories. It's just like that. And especially those who are on the top notch. You understand me? Those are where the stories come from. And say, this, so before you belong to... See, I used to act. And one of the things that made me run away from Nollywood, totally run away from way back, run away. Maybe I would have become a very big actor at this time, was... some certain things I discovered that I was even asked to do, that I just found myself, my soul can't accept this. I can't do this. And like the guy you say ran back to Port Harcourt, I just ran away from that whole sector totally, and just found it, just look for another means in my life to do that thing. Now killing a particular talent or career that I could have built myself. But because of some certain things that are attached to you know, all those things, it made me run away. So how do you now start to differentiate for a young guy, 20 years old boy, you know, who just wants to become, he can sing, and he feels, oh, he sees a record label and says, oh, the record label say come and everything, and he's at 20, probably the only thing you are thinking of, your voice voice is good, and then this, you can sing and everything, and then somebody say, come and sign this thing into what this so many millions of your life.
You know, they used to enter with this mindset of, let me just enter, later I will run. It's not so easy.
So, and you know, and then you find issues like the guy gets there and he's no more comfortable after some few months or a year or whatever, and he wants to leave, and the record label is not allowing for that. Why?
What I want to say to, I'm sure a couple of persons might be watching, maybe upcoming artists and people that are looking to get into the entertainment. It's not just about music, movie, comedy, everything. We've heard people complain so many times, cry about this kind of things. I think it's even easier now with the social media age. I can call 10 artists right now that blew up on their own just since 2022 to 2023 without a record label. Charlie Poppy is trending right now. I made a video about Charlie Poppy yesterday, and I said Charlie Poppy is not the best singer. He does not even write any lyrics. Charlie Poppy doesn't have a good voice. Charlie Poppy doesn't have anything. But you know what he does? He has brain that so many people, and patience that so many people did not have. I was talking about his idea, the way he blew up, with his publicity, his vibes, and his branding. That was what made Charlie Poppy blew up. The same way Naira Marley blew up with branding, Malians. Charlie Poppy came up with Plutomanians. Pluto this, Pluto that. And the more he had to do more publicity, so it is on your face every single day. So it sticks to your head psychologically. And he drops plenty of it. That's all what Charlie Poppy did. And the funny thing was, he told us, I will do nursery rhymes and I'll top chart. And he's still doing it now. Just with that same strategy of publicity, put it on their faces, put more of it, and create a slogan. That's all.
But not all of them has that.
But what I want to tell young artists is stop. I think now is the time where you stop looking at record labels. You have your phone. With your phone. Right now, I know somebody that records on his phone. A very famous TikToker. He records with his phone, one app. He produces himself. he writes his song, he changes it into TikTok challenges, and he posts it again and again till other TikTokers start posting it. Right now, you have everything on your finger. You don't need it. You don't need one record label. Right now, artists are refusing to even go into signing with record label because of what's happening right now.
Yeah.
Most of them, I just used to tell upcoming artists, become a content creator.
Just like what we spoke about earlier.
That's just the truth. Become a content creator. No matter the arts you do, whether you're a fine artist, whether you're a creative artist, whether you're an actor, whether you're a musician, whether you're a songwriter, whatever you do now in the arts, just become a content creator.
Okay, you know, one other aspect before I round up that I'd like us to talk about is the aspect of Nollywood. Deviating a little from what we've been saying, we'll notice that there's a trend whereby before you know it, towards maybe their 50s, late 40s, early 60s, we see most of them falling sick, and then they come to social media to beg for money, and people will keep asking, like, you've been acting, we see you guys as stars, just like the way they see us on TV and think we have so much money and stuff like that.
I don't have, please.
I don't have, I'm hungry at the moment.
So when they see people like that on air and they feel like you should have so much money, so why are you coming down to this place to actually beg us for money? We saw that Mr. Ibu recently lost one of his legs because of the sickness. I think that Amici Munago came out to speak of paralysis. So are we saying that let's look at their bodies, the organizations in charge of them? Is it that they are not helping out? Is it that the industry is not paying them so well? Are they not taking care of their health? What exactly would you say is a contributing challenge to all those things?
I will start by saying I think the first challenge is the fact that most of us, in fact, let me start by saying our Nollywood actors are broke.
Okay.
Very broke.
We think they have a lot of money. I was specific when I said actors.
Okay. Because
the producers are the ones making the money. The directors are the ones making some of the money. The female actors are making their own money from somewhere else.
I think Kanayo came to speak about that.
Yeah, from somewhere else, because obviously, without like it, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's one advantage of being your gender. You get favors that we don't get.
You get, of course.
And there are some of them that just come to TV to show their face. They just want to be known because they know they will get lots of favors from showing their face. It doesn't work like that for we guys. Then adding to the fact that back then when Nollywood started, the earliest people that were in Nollywood, they are very poor. Most of them were retirees. That they were just retired, roaming about. They were like, "Can you act? Come and act." Most of those old ones you saw, those elders, they are people that are just retired. They had nothing to do. They give them 10,000, 5,000, come up. So they were very poor. Not now that Nollywood is what it is, and now they are paying them in millions, kind of. But that's one of the facts. So those earlier people you saw, they don't have so much money like you think. Most of them had to do other businesses to make money. Unlike now, it is growing. But we cannot still compare Nollywood to Hollywood. Like Hollywood, Dwayne Johnson gets about 500 million for a movie and still royalties from the movie. I mean $1 million and still royalties from the movie. But Nollywood will get there, but we're not there yet. But one other thing we don't have is like what you see in Hollywood, they have the life assurance thing and the health assurance. And Nollywood, from what I watched Charles Inoji, one of my senior colleagues, one time talk. He said they are making preparations for such things.
Okay.
Where you can be paying some dues for health insurance later when you're older. So it's actually, but now it's not there. But when people see a star on TV, thank God now the current ones are becoming wise.
Yeah.
And you see them going to make money on Facebook and other social medias. Most of them never knew they could use their popularity to make lots of money on Facebook, YouTube, and all these things. Now, this current generation, no. There are so many of them. What's her name? Blossom has his TV on YouTube. Most of them have YouTube TV. So they are making money from Nollywood, they're making money from YouTube, they're making money from Facebook. So this current generation now, I don't think they will face that same problem because they are wiser. But the older generation, we are just retirees and normal people. They beg to come and act and they started acting. So they did not even have the idea of making the money. So it's just that 50K. You are done.
Anyway, thank you so much. We could have this interview on and on, but we don't have enough time. And so that's the much we can take from here. We'll go for a very short break and we'll be right back.